Cyber Threat Brief for June 2, 2026. Supply chain attacks dominate today's threat landscape, with the Red Hat NPM compromise and ongoing Shai-Hulud variants demonstrating that credential theft worms now self-propagate through developer toolchains. The Glassworm takedown shows Defender collaboration can disrupt these operations, but the Team PCP source code release ensures copycat campaigns will continue. Meanwhile, critical infrastructure vulnerabilities in Windows NetLogin and Palo Alto Global Protect highlight the persistent gap between patch availability and deployment, with exploitation beginning within days of disclosure. AI-driven security tools are increasingly targeted, as seen in the Meta Support Bot exploit, creating new attack surfaces that blend social engineering with automated decision-making systems. Here's the full breakdown of today's top security stories. Today, Windows domain controllers face active exploitation of a critical NetLogin remote code execution flaw patched in May. Red Hat's NPM repositories were compromised in a supply chain attack, distributing credential-stealing malware to 117,000 weekly downloads. Palo Alto Networks confirms VPN authentication bypass CVE 2026-0257 under active exploitation since May 17, with CISA, the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, setting a June 1 deadline. Next section, critical alerts. CVE 2026-21182. Oracle WebLogic Server added to CISA KEV, known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. CISA added Oracle WebLogic Server CVE 2026-21182 to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog based on evidence of active exploitation. The vulnerability has an EPSS, the Exploit Prediction Scoring System, score of 0.877, placing it in the 99th percentile for exploitation probability. Federal agencies have until June 4 to remediate. Action: patch Oracle WebLogic Server immediately. Check CISA KEV catalog for remediation guidance and specific affected versions. This is a high-priority target for attackers. Source: CISA. CVE 2026-41089. Windows NetLogin RCE, under active exploitation Belgium's Center for Cybersecurity warns that attackers are actively exploiting CVE 2026-41089, a critical stack-based buffer overflow in Windows NetLogin, allowing remote code execution on domain controllers. The flaw, CVSS, the Common Vulnerability Scoring System, 9.8, was patched in Microsoft's May 2026 Patch Tuesday, but attackers can send crafted network requests without authentication to gain system-level access. All Windows Server versions, including Server 2025, are affected. Microsoft states they found no evidence of exploitation, contradicting CCB's warning. Action: patch all Windows domain controllers immediately with May 2026 updates. Prioritize domain controllers over other systems. Monitor NetLogin service logs for anomalous network requests. This vulnerability provides complete domain compromise. Sources: Bleeping Computer Security Week. CVE 2026-0257. Palo Alto Networks Global Protect authentication bypass exploited Palo Alto Networks, and CISA confirm active exploitation of CVE 2026-0257, CVSS 7.8, EPSS 0.415 at 97th percentile. Affecting PANOS Global, Protect Portal and Gateway. Rapid7 detected the first exploitation attempts on May 17, just 4 days after public disclosure. Attackers use forged authentication override cookies to establish unauthorized VPN sessions, granting access to internal networks. The threat actor operated from Vultr and Dramatic Systems hosting providers. CISA added the flaw to its KEV catalog with a June 1 remediation deadline. Action: update PANOS to 12.1, 11, 2, 11, 1, or 10. 2 patched versions immediately. For Prisma Access, update to 11.2.0 or 10.2.0. Hunt for suspicious Global Protect authentication events, especially cookie-based logins without corresponding VPN assignments. Check for connections from Vultr and Dramatic's IP ranges. Use Rapid7 published proof-of-concept script to identify vulnerable firewalls. Sources: Security Week Checkpoint Research. GOG's Remote Code Execution 0-day, no CVE or common vulnerabilities and exposures. Yet, GOG's, an open-source self-hosted Git service, has a critical unauthenticated RCE vulnerability, CVSS 9.4, with no patch available. Rapid7 disclosed the flaw affecting servers running default configurations on Windows, Linux, and Mac OS. Attackers can abuse rebase merging via pull requests with malicious branch names to execute arbitrary commands. Since GOG ships with open registration enabled by default, unauthenticated attackers can create accounts and exploit the flaw to access all repositories, steal credentials, and pivot to other systems. The vulnerability has been unpatched for over 2 months. Action: disable open registration immediately in GOG settings. Disable rebase merging for all repositories. Consider migrating to alternative Git hosting solutions until a patch is available. Monitor for new account creations and pull requests from unknown users. Sources: the Hacker News Checkpoint Research. Next section: business and infrastructure threats. Red Hat NPM packages compromised in supply chain attack. More than 30 NPM packages under Red Hat's at Red Hat Cloud Services namespace were compromised in a supply chain attack distributing Miasma, a new variant of the Shai-Hulud credential stealing worm. The packages receive approximately 117,000 weekly downloads. Attackers compromised a Red Hat employee's GitHub account and pushed malicious commits, adding GitHub Actions workflows that abused NPM's OIG publishing mechanism. The malicious code executed via pre-install scripts, stealing GitHub Actions secrets, AWS/GCP/Azure credentials, Kubernetes tokens, SSH keys, Docker credentials, GPG keys, and ENV files. The malware exfiltrates data to attacker-controlled servers and creates persistence hooks in Claude Code and VS Code. Red Hat removed affected packages and states the compromise was limited to internal development tooling with no customer impact. Action: if you installed any at Red Hat Cloud Services packages, rotate all credentials, secrets, API, tokens, SSH keys, and cloud credentials immediately. Check for outbound connections to API. Anthropic. COM 443/v1/API and GitHub repositories with Miasma, the spreading blight, in descriptions. Inspect Claude Code sessions, start hooks and VS Code tasks. JSON for persistence mechanisms. Update to clean package versions published by Red Hat. Sources: Bleeping Computer, the Hacker News Security Week. Drive Surge campaign hijacks thousands of sites for malware distribution. A threat actor tracked as Drive Surge operates as an initial access broker, using ClickFix and Fake, updates social engineering across thousands of compromised WordPress sites. Silent Push researchers identified attacks leveraging ZTDS, an open-source traffic distribution system active since 2015, to profile visitors and serve targeted malware. Victims see fake browser update prompts for Chrome, Firefox, Edge, Safari, Opera, Brave, Yandex, Vivaldi, Samsung Internet, and UC browser. ClickFix attacks deliver PowerShell commands. The campaign extends to Mac OS via obfuscated JavaScript targeting desktop systems with clipboard hijacking. Action: train users to only update browsers through built-in update mechanisms. Help about check for updates. Block T, JS, site equals JavaScript injection patterns at web proxies. Monitor for PowerShell executions originating from browser processes. Source: Bleeping Computer. Hoaxuyandroid NPM package steals OpenAI Codex tokens. A malicious NPM package named Hoaxuyandroid advertised as a remote web UI for OpenAI Codex has attracted over 29,000 weekly downloads while stealing authentication tokens. The package is functional but contains code extracting ~codex/auth, JSON and exfiltrating access tokens, refresh tokens, and account ID to Sentry. Enaclaw. Store. The stolen refresh tokens do not expire, granting persistent silent access. Associated Android apps: OpenClaw Codex Claude AI agent with 50,000 plus downloads and Codex with 10,000 plus downloads run the NPM package in a p-root sandbox to steal credentials from in-app sign-ins. Action: uninstall Hoaxuyandroid NPM package immediately. Revoke all OpenAI Codex tokens and regenerate new ones. Remove OpenClaw and Codex Android apps. Treat ~codex/auth, JSON as a password and never commit it to repositories. Check for outbound connections to Sentry. Enaclaw. Store. Source: The Hacker News. Meta AI support bot exploited for Instagram account takeover. Attackers used Meta's AI support assistant to hijack Instagram accounts, including the Obama White House and U.S. Space Force Chief Master Sergeant accounts. Telegram video demonstrated a simple exploit, using a VPN with an IP near the target's location, requesting password reset, then instructing the AI bot to link a new email address to the account. The bot sent a one-time code to the attacker's email enabling password reset. The exploit failed against accounts with any form of MFA, multi-factor authentication, enabled. Meta pushed an emergency patch over the weekend. Action: enable MFA on all Instagram accounts immediately. Even SMS-based MFA blocked this exploit. Review recent email address changes and password resets. Audit AI-driven customer support workflows for similar authentication bypass risks. Source: Krebs on Security. WordPress malware hides command and control data in Steam profile comments. Nearly 2,000 WordPress sites were infected with malware using Steam community profile comments to hide command and control data. GoDaddy researchers discovered attackers embedding payloads in invisible Unicode characters, zero-width non-joiner, zero-width joiner, function application, invisible times, invisible separator, invisible plus, within benign-looking Steam profile text. The malware decodes payloads building URLs to Hello My Wordle. Info serving obfuscated JavaScript disguised as legitimate libraries. A backdoor responds to post requests with a TECA KKX ESP authentication cookie. Action: check WordPress sites for references to Steam community URLs, external JavaScript from Hello My Wordle. Info: suspicious transient caption cache entries, and post requests with the TECA KKX ESP cookie. Restore from clean backups before infection date. The backdoor can reinstall removed code if any component remains. Source: Bleeping Computer. Next section, Windows/Active Directory Security. CVE 2026-45498, additional Windows 0 days under exploitation, and 2 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Security researcher Nightmare Eclipse disclosed multiple Windows 0 days now under active exploitation. CVE 2026-45498, Undefend, EPSS 0.41 at 89th percentile. CIS a KEV due June 3, allows standard users to block Microsoft Defender definition updates. Bluehammer, EPSS 0.71 at 92nd percentile. CIS a KEV due May 6. And Red Sun, EPSS 0.80 at 92nd percentile. CIS a KEV due June 3, are privilege escalation flaws providing system privileges. Yellow Key is a BitLocker 0-day granting access to protected drives. Microsoft initially responded with legal threats but has since provided mitigation guidance, and 3 additional CVEs. See show notes for the full list. Action: apply May 2026 Patch Tuesday updates immediately. Monitor for unusual privilege escalation attempts and Defender update failures. These vulnerabilities chain together for complete system compromise. Source: Bleeping Computer. Microsoft outages affecting MFA setup and Office apps. Microsoft resolved 2 separate outages on June 1. The first prevented users from setting up MFA or accessing MySignins. Microsoft.com, with customers seeing 504 gateway timeout errors. Microsoft blamed a cache configuration change, causing high CPU and memory utilization during EU traffic peaks. A second incident prevented users from opening files in Office for the web and Teams, affecting Excel and PowerPoint with Office Online Services aren't available errors. The issue recovered without specific engineering actions. Action: users who experienced MFA setup issues should retry registration. Document AI-related outages for board reporting. Consider these incidents when evaluating Microsoft 365 SLAs. Sources: Bleeping Computer. Bleeping Computer. B5,089,549, Windows 11 security update installation issues, resolved. Microsoft resolved a known issue causing May 2026 Windows 11 security update. KB 5,089,549. Installation failures with 0x800F0922 errors. The issue affected devices with limited free space on the EFI system partition ESP, especially those with 10 megabytes or less available. Installations failed at 35-36% completion during reboot. A fix is included in KB 5,089,573 preview update released May 26 and will be in June Patch Tuesday updates. Action: install KB 5,089,573 preview update or wait for June Patch Tuesday. For enterprise environments, deploy known issue rollback group policies manually if needed before the June update. Source: Bleeping Computer. Next section, General Security News. CVE 2026-26980. Ghost CMS SQL injection under active exploitation. Attackers are actively exploiting CVE 2026-26980, EPSS 0.567 at 98th percentile. A SQL injection vulnerability in Ghost CMS to steal admin API keys and modify website pages. At least 2 groups have targeted over 700 sites using fake Cloudflare checks to deliver data stealing malware. Checkpoint IPS provides protection against this threat. Action: patch Ghost CMS immediately to the latest version. Rotate admin API keys. Review website content for unauthorized modifications. Monitor for fake Cloudflare verification pages. Source: Checkpoint Research. CVE 2026-8732. WP Maps Pro WordPress plugin exploited for site takeover threat actors are exploiting CVE 2026-8732, CVSS 9.8, in WP Maps Pro WordPress plugin to create administrative accounts and take over sites. The vulnerability exists in a callback AJAX function handling temporary access generation, protected only by a non-C embedded in every front-end page, and exposed to unauthenticated users. Attackers can invoke the AJAX action with checktemp equals false to create admin users with hard-coded email addresses and receive magic login URLs. Defiant blocked over 1,700 attacks in 24 hours. Action: update WP Maps Pro to version 6.1.1 immediately. Audit WordPress admin accounts for suspicious additions. Review web application firewall logs for AJAX callback exploitation attempts. Source: Security Week. Dashlane brute force attack results in limited Vault downloads. Dashlane disclosed that fewer than 20 personal plan users had encrypted vaults downloaded following a brute force attack on May 31. The attack targeted accounts attempting to bypass two-factor authentication and register new devices. High-volume attempts triggered temporary account suspensions as designed. While encrypted vaults were downloaded, the data cannot be accessed without master passwords. Dashlane's systems were not compromised. Action: Dashlane users should review registered devices, enable 2FA if not already active, and use strong unique master passwords. Organizations using Dashlane should audit user account security settings. Sources: Bleeping Computer, The Hacker News. SVG files used in phishing campaigns. SANS Internet Storm Center reports a surge in phishing emails delivering SVG, scalable vector graphic, files containing JavaScript that redirects victims to phishing pages. The SVG files contain base64 encoded and Zord payloads with the decryption key embedded. The JavaScript uses the application /ECMAScript MIME type to evade security controls looking for JavaScript. Phishing pages use the CFD-TLD, clothing, fashion, and design, a cheap domain increasingly abused in campaigns. Action: configure email gateways to block or sandbox SVG attachments. Review SVG file handling policies on endpoint systems. Add CFD domains to enhanced monitoring for phishing infrastructure. Source: SANS ISC. Glassworm C2 infrastructure taken down. CrowdStrike, Google, and Shadowziver Foundation dismantled the Glassworm malware operation on May 26 by simultaneously taking down all 4 C2 channels. Glassworm distributed Trojanized VS Code extensions via Microsoft VS Code Marketplace and OpenVSX and compromised NPM and Python packages. The malware checks system locale and avoids CIS countries, with Russian language comments in code suggesting Russian operators. Infected endpoints now beacon to benign IP 164.92.88.210 for identification. Action: check for connections to 164.92.88.210 to identify infected systems. Audit installed VS Code extensions and remove any from unknown publishers. Review NPM and Python package sources for suspicious additions. Source: The Hacker News. Carnival Corporation, Charter Communications, Lithuania data breaches. Checkpoint Research reports multiple significant breaches. Carnival Corporation confirmed a data breach affecting nearly 6 million people after social engineering compromised an employee account, exposing names, contact details, dates of birth, and government ID. Charter Communications, Spectrum, suffered a breach by shiny hunters exposing 4.9 million email addresses with names, phone numbers, physical addresses, and employee records. Lithuania's Center of Registers disclosed a breach affecting over 600,000 records after attackers misused institutional login credentials to access names, dates of birth, national ID, and property data. Action: organizations should review social engineering training programs given the Carnival breach vector. Monitor for credential stuffing attacks targeting customers whose data was exposed in these breaches. Source: Checkpoint Research. Spain arrests doxer targeting government employees. Spanish National Police arrested an individual for leaking sensitive data of employees from the State Attorney General's office, INSAIB, National Police, Civil Guard, and National Security Council. The operation posed national security risks. No direct system compromise occurred. The threat group Policia Speedoxed aggregated data from older breaches, credential dumps, and OSINT tools to create curated collections posted to Breach Forum and Doxbin. Action: review OSINT exposure for key personnel. Consider enhanced monitoring for government and critical infrastructure employees whose data has been aggregated in breach compilations. Source: Bleeping Computer. Next section: patch priority. Windows Server all versions. CVE 2026-41089 NetLogin RCE, CVSS 9.8 allows unauthenticated domain controller compromise. Palo Alto PANOS Global Protect, CVE 2026-0257, CVSS 7.8, authentication bypass under active exploitation since May 17. Oracle WebLogic Server, CVE 2026-21182 on CISAKEV, 99th percentile EPSS score, federal deadline June 4. Red Hat NPM packages, rotate all credentials if at Red Hat Cloud Services packages were installed. WordPress, WP Maps Pro, Ghost CMS, CVE 2026-8732 and CVE 2026-26980 under active exploitation. Next section, Vulnerability Disclosures. Checkpoint Security Gateways, CVE 2026-48131, CVE 2026-48132, Checkpoint announced a jumbo security release based on AI-driven code scanning addressing vulnerabilities in security gateways. CVE 2026-48131, IKE unsigned underflow, and CVE 2026-48132, IKE improper link validation, were not exploited in the wild. Checkpoint IPS provides protection against these threats. Action: apply Checkpoint Jumbo Security Release to all security gateways. These vulnerabilities affect core VPN functionality. Source: Checkpoint Research. China-aligned threat activity targeting Czech Republic, Taiwan, India. Operation Dragon Weave targeted Czech Republic and Taiwan government, research, academic, technology, and financial services sectors with Adaptix C2 agent delivered via spear phishing. The campaign uses Rust-based RustCloak loader and Azure Veil implant, leveraging Microsoft Azure Blob Storage for dead drop C2 communication to evade detection. Separately, TankShell, a Go-based implant derived from RShell C2, targeted an Indian manufacturing company. China-aligned groups, including newly identified Stepdriver cluster, remain highly active globally. Action: monitor for Azure Blob Storage connections from unexpected systems. Review spear phishing defenses and attachment handling for ZIP archives containing LNK files. Source: The Hacker News. Pakistan-linked side copy targets Afghanistan with Zeno RAT. The Pakistan-aligned side copy group, operating under Transparent Tribe, targeted Afghanistan's Ministry of Finance, provincial revenue directorates, and Pashto-speaking government officials with Zeno RAT delivered via spear phishing. The campaign uses LNK files with Pashto language names, fetching HTA files from compromised Afghan education domains. Zeno RAT 1.8.7 provides full remote access including keylogging, screenshots, webcam/microphone monitoring, SOCKS 5 proxy, and self-uninstall capabilities. Action: organizations in South Asia should enhance email security for Pashto language attachments and monitor for connections to compromised education domains. Source: The Hacker News. That concludes today's cyber threat brief. From Carolina Clear Tech. Stay patched, stay vigilant.